Buffet setup. The buffet setup is about ensuring the buffet is prepped and ready for the guest's arrival. It is very important that you know what needs to be prepared to ensure that guests have everything they need to enjoy the Intercontinental Breakfast Buffet. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain the importance of service items and utensils, labels, cleanliness and hygiene, and the walkthrough. Let's start with service items and utensils. All of the food has been prepared by the kitchen team and is ready to be placed on the buffet. But imagine a guest arrives at the buffet and they do not have the correct service utensils to help themselves. You and your team will need to ensure that every single dish has the appropriate service utensils. If it is a salad, it should have tongs. If it is a soup, it needs a ladle. Imagine the guest trying to dish sauce with tongs or eggs with no service utensils at all. Think about what food items are on the breakfast menu. How will guests dish themselves these items? Now that you have decided on the correct service utensils, you need to ensure that they are placed on the buffet display in a neat, uniform manner. Think about whether the service utensil is placed in the dish or on a designated plate next to the dish. Most guests will serve themselves with their right hand, so the handle needs to be placed in a way that makes it as easy as possible for them. Once you have made this decision, you need to ensure that all of the service utensils are the same style and that they are placed uniformly and in line with each other, as you can see here. This makes the buffet look fantastic and not messy and confusing. It is very important that everything the guest may need to enjoy their meal is set up on the display. You must ensure that there are enough plates and bowls on the display, and if there are plate warmers, that they are ready and switched on. Ensure that there are glasses for water and juice, and that there are always extra napkins on the display. These items should be placed in a designated area where guests can easily find them, and where they will stay neat and clean. Now let's look at labels. Labels are very important on the buffet, as not only does it tell the guest what all the amazing dishes are, but it can also mean preventing a guest from eating something that they are allergic to, or that is against their religion. Labels provide the guest with very important information. Firstly, what is the dish? Secondly, does the dish contain anything to which the guest may be allergic, such as nuts? Thirdly, does the dish contain anything that is against the guest's beliefs, religious or otherwise, such as pork? Knowing what the dish is will help the guest to make an informed decision as to what they would like to eat. Knowing whether the dish contains anything to which they may be allergic could protect the guest from becoming seriously ill. Knowing whether a dish contains anything that is against their beliefs protects the guest from committing a sin or by breaking their own personal rules of life. This could be greatly offensive and will break the guest's trust in our restaurant. Labels should be uniformly displayed in the style of Intercontinental. They should be clear and legible, and most importantly, they need to be accurate. Ask a colleague to check the spelling of the dishes so that you can be sure it is correct, and check that every dish has a correct corresponding label. Now let's look at cleanliness and hygiene. Before the guests arrive, you must ensure that the buffet display as a whole is clean and neat. Check that all the crockery, glassware, and napkins are placed neatly and uniformly on the display. All of these items should be spotlessly clean and without any damage. If you spot a chipped glass, for example, it should immediately be removed and reported to your supervisor. This could be very dangerous to a guest and can make your whole display look substandard. Ensure that there are no fingerprints, on the glassware, as well as any other stainless steel items. These come across as very unappealing and unhygienic. The dishes on display should be placed uniformly and in line with each other. All dishes should be accessible to the guest and should have clean, uniform service utensils, placed neatly in the dish or next to the dish on a designated plate. These should be neatened and cleaned throughout the buffet service. The surfaces of the buffet should also be clean and hygienic at all times. Any hot plates, chafing dishes, or plate warmers should be ready and switched on to ensure that it is warm when the buffet service starts. These should also be clean, neat, and placed on the buffet in a uniform manner. Labels should be clean, neat, undamaged, and all the same. These should be placed uniformly on the display, and it should be clear to which dish every label is referring. If the buffet display is clean and neat, guests will find it more appealing, and they will feel confident that everything on the display is hygienic and of the highest quality. They will enjoy the buffet with confidence. Finally, let's look at the walkthrough. The walkthrough is a vital part of the buffet setup, and it should be done with focus and care, characteristic of the Intercontinental Way. Once the buffet setup is complete, you should walk through the buffet from start to finish as a guest would. Check everything on the buffet to ensure that the dishes are beautifully displayed. All the labels are correct and neatly displayed. Every dish has the appropriate service utensils. The correct crockery and glassware is on the buffet, and there are enough additional clean napkins. Check that the buffet has an overall neat and clean appearance, and that all of the food items look fresh and appealing. If any food items are covered with plastic or foil, now is the time to remove it. So much about a successful breakfast service relies on preparation. Taking great care to set up your buffet in the best possible manner will allow you to focus on serving and delighting your guests with confidence.